Have you ever wanted to lead around a villager, take it to a farm or something, but it's just so frustrating to have to put it in a boat? Well, I seem to have figured out a way that you can lead villagers around as easily as you could something like a cow, and it doesn't even require you to have something special in your hand. Basically, how I've done this is using a glitch that I saw a few weeks ago that was used for very different purposes. And this villager, it is following me around, and it has about the same follow radius as you would expect from a typical animal if you're leading it with like seeds or wheat or something. And if you want to lead it around easily while it's in this state, you just start sprinting and shift, and that's about the fastest you can lead it around without having to pause. So if you want to lead it a long distance, just do like this. This is not dependent on the time of day or anything like that, and you just need your villager itself. So let me show you first how to do this. First, the requirements are, yeah, and even if you punch it, nothing bad happens. Basically, all you need is a villager with a profession. If you have just a composter or something like that, you can give it to a villager. If the villager you want doesn't have a profession, you just need to get it to have that profession. But you don't need to keep placing it down, breaking it, and then placing it back like a lot of other methods, how I've seen a lot of people do it. Literally all you need is just to interact with the villager. And once you're in this state, you need to be in touchscreen mode. You need to activate touchscreen mode in settings. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you in a second. And you just click outside of the GUI, and it thinks you still have the GUI open, so the villager will follow you. And it's actually pretty neat how that works. For those of you who don't know, you can turn on touchscreen mode as simply as going under options, controls, mouse settings, and turn on touchscreen mode. If this is off, it stops working. Now the villager, I believe it's still in a follow state even though I have touchscreen mode off. If you open your inventory, it does get broken. And now the villager is scared of me because I punched it. But yeah, you can just lead it from anywhere. Um, So if you want to desync it, just open your inventory and close it normally. I led that villager all the way from this village over here, all the way to over there. Night passed and everything, and there were no issues. So this is actually really useful for a lot of circumstances. If you want to put a villager into an iron farm, you can just lead it like this. One thing I would note with this method is that I'd be careful using it on servers that have really strict anti-cheat, because this is a glitch, it's an exploit, so if servers look down on any exploit of any kind, this could be problematic. And also, this represents the features of specific hacked clients. I know certain hacked clients have features that allow you to do a certain thing like this. Because basically what's happening is the game thinks you still have the villager GUI open, and if you're moving while the server thinks you have a GUI open, sometimes you get marked as hacking. But yeah, if you want to lead around a villager, just place down a job site. It'll take the job, interact with it, click outside, and now it's in a follow state. It'll follow you wherever as long as you don't get out of range. And even if you do get out of range, you can just walk back within range as long as you haven't done anything to reset it, and the villager will go back into its follow state because it still thinks you have the GUI open. I'm not sure why that bit happens, but I understand people have shown before that if you click on a villager and then walk away, click on it again repeatedly, that it'll follow you, but that's obviously really annoying to do. And you gotta be careful. If you get out of range, it will immediately run back towards the village, so you gotta be careful with that, which is why I recommend using the sprint shifting method. Um, this is about the best thing you can do. But yeah, this is an interesting thing. I discovered this a little while ago, and there's actually a couple other cool things this leads to. Okay, so this bit I'm going to show you, I have no idea whatsoever why this happens, but it does. I discovered this while I was just messing around. You do the thing with the villager, you can just run away if you want. Um, it doesn't really matter. And then if you open your inventory and use a hotkey to switch the position of an item, or I'm gonna actually put that there. Your client now thinks the item is here, but the server still thinks it's wherever it was before. So you create a ghost item, and that ghost item can be used to create different sorts of ghost blocks, like this. My client thinks this is air, so I'm getting this weird jittering effect a little bit. Yeah, it's acting really weird. But the server thinks that that's still a piece of netherrack. And no, unfortunately, it does not break your fall if you land on a ghost air block. It simply delays the inevitable death. If you do this with a water bucket, it gets even weirder. You see, I thought the water was placed there, but it's not. And look at that. My client will interact with this as if it's air, but it's really water, obviously. And you can do some really weird stuff with this. It's super finicky, unfortunately, so it's not really reliable to create like an underwater pathway or something, but it sure is cool. You see, and then every now and then this happens. Okay, yes, you do take fall damage even if you land in the ghost water. It's really weird. I don't know if you can get rid of it. Yeah, you can get rid of it. And unfortunately, it's not super practical to make an underwater pathway with this. It's super finicky on servers. I'm in single player right now, so it's a little bit more reliable, but you see, I'm still drowning. Like, I'm still slowly losing air bubbles, even though I think it's a little bit slower than you normally would, just because the client and the server are sort of fighting with it. But yeah, sometimes you just can't get a block of water to disappear, so this isn't super practical. Let me know if you can find any other cool uses for this, if there's any other practicality, or if you can find a way to make it more consistent. But anyway, that's about all I have for now. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you next time.